Welcome back to Autoscope, the home for rare engines, carbon fiber dreams, and the stories behind the world's most extraordinary machines. If speed has a soul and carbon fiber had a conscience, the Pagani Zonda would be the embodiment of both. Today, we're diving into one of the most enigmatic and valuable modern hypercars on the planet, a machine that was born out of pure obsession, built without compromise, and has evolved into a multi-million-pound legend. The broken bar is the Pagani Zonda, and this particular example could be worth up to £8.4 million. Let that number sink in for a moment. £8.4 million. That's more than most super yachts, private jets, and penthouse apartments in Mayfair. But here's the thing, this isn't just about a price tag. This is about how one man's dream reshaped what a hypercar could be, and how one machine came to define a generation of automotive artistry. You think you know the Zonda? Think again. To understand why this particular Pagani Zonda could command such an astronomical figure, we have to go back to the beginning, to a tiny factory in Modena, Italy, where Horacio Pagani was quietly crafting the first Zonda C12. Pagani had worked for Lamborghini, developing materials for the Countach and Diablo, but he always had a dream to build his own car, a car that didn't just perform but one that was art. And in 1999, at the Geneva Motor Show, that dream roared to life. The Zonda didn't look like anything else, it didn't sound like anything else, and it wasn't built like anything else. This wasn't just a car, it was sculpture on wheels, with its exposed carbon fiber, aerospace-grade titanium, and that unmistakable V12 soundtrack provided by AMG. Only a few Zondas were made each year, not mass-produced, but meticulously hand-built. And while the world obsessed over Ferrari's output, or Lamborghini's flamboyance, Pagani carved a cult following of purists, say of those who saw beyond speed and status. They saw soul. Fast forward through the years, and Pagani didn't just release newer Zondas, he redefined what limited production meant. There were the SF, Roadster, Sync, Tricolor, and beyond. But what made the Zonda different was that no two were ever truly alike. Pagani allowed customization to an extreme degree. Bespoke interiors, unique paint codes, and one-off aero packages became the norm, not the exception. And that brings us to this car, the Zonda we're talking about today, the one estimated to be worth £8.4 million. It's not just rare, it's mythical. What makes this Zonda so valuable? Let's start with the fundamentals. This Zonda is part of what collectors call the 760 series. These are the most powerful Zondas ever built, each putting out around 760 horsepower from that naturally aspirated AMG 7.3-liter V12. No turbos, no hybrid assistance, just old-school fury, wrapped in carbon. But even within the 760 lineup, which includes legends like the 760LH, built for Lewis Hamilton, this car stands apart. Rumor has it this Zonda was commissioned as a one-off, fully bespoke, an entirely new rear fascia, hand-painted bodywork that required over 1,000 hours, and an interior finished in materials not used in any other Zonda. Some insiders claim Pagani himself oversaw much of its build. That alone would elevate its value, but it goes further. The engine in this Zonda was reportedly blueprinted and signed by AMG engineers from the early 2000s, meaning it's one of the last of its kind to feature old-world AMG craftsmanship, the kind you can't replicate anymore. But beyond the specs, there's another reason why this car commands such a price: provenance. This Zonda has never been offered to the public before. It's been sitting quietly in a private collection, driven sparingly, maintained exclusively by Pagani's factory technicians. Every bolt, every piece of carbon documented. When a Zonda like this enters the market, collectors don't ask what's the list price. They ask, how much do I have to offer to get it? Because here's the truth: Zondas aren't bought, they're granted. Pagani has been known to turn down buyers who don't understand the brand. It's not just about having the money, it's about being worthy of the machine. In today's world, where hypercars like the Bugatti Chiron Supersport or Koenigsegg hit astronomical performance numbers, the Zonda still holds its place, not because it's the fastest, but because it's the purest. It's analog, it's raw, it's alive, And for collectors, that purity is worth more than any top speed record or na 1/4 turbograin lap time. Let's talk about market value. 10 years ago, you could buy a Zonda for under £1 million, but over the past few years, we've seen examples quietly sell at auction and private sales for £4 million a broken bar, £6 million a broken bar, even more. In 2021, a Zonda HP Barchetta A1 of 3A sold for over £12 million, making it one of the most expensive cars ever sold. That car was rarer, yes, but this £8.4 million Zonda, it might just be the most complete expression of what Pagani stands for. No compromises, no replicas, just one of one. And that's the magic of Pagani. Unlike many other marques that trade on heritage, Pagani has created value through artistry, through innovation, and through an almost obsessive attention to detail. Look at the titanium bolts, the leather stitching, the way the carbon weave lines up across the panels. Even the keys are machined from aluminum, styled after the car's profile. Nothing is off the shelf. Everything is designed, engineered, and executed to perfection. That's why collectors around the world are willing to spend £8.4 million and perhaps even more to add this Zonda to their garages. Because owning it isn't just about possession, it's about preservation of an era, of a philosophy, of a machine that will never be built again. And here's the kicker: Pagani has officially ended Zonda production. The Huayra and Utopia may carry the torch, but the Zonda A with its naturally aspirated V12 and manual gearbox is the last of its kind, a swan song to the golden age of analog hypercars. So, when you look at this £8.4 million Zonda, you're not just seeing a car, you're seeing history, heritage, the culmination of everything Horacio Pagani dreamed of. A car so rare, so personal, so mechanical that it transcends value itself. Is it worth £8.4 million? If you have to ask, maybe it's not for you. But for those who understand, for those who feel something when they hear that V12 scream through titanium pipes, no number could capture its worth. That's the story of this Pagani Zonda. An icon, a masterpiece, a legend. Thanks for watching Autoscope, where machines aren't just driving a broken bar, they're revered. If you loved this journey into the world of rare hypercars, be sure to hit subscribe, like the video, and let us know in the comments. What's your dream Zonda? Would you take the F Roadster, the Sync, or is the £8.4 million one off the ultimate unicorn? Until next time, keep chasing the art in engineering a broken bar, and remember, on Autoscope, every car has a story.